I think I'm live here. So anyway, I'm going to pop right into it. I may be deleting this, so I'm just putting this together. But anyway, hi, my name is Rodney Washington, and I'm doing something that I feel like for a lot of
I
us
think I'm
as
live
creators,
here. So
leaders,
anyway, I'm going to pop right
oh,
into it.
sorry,
Get rid
let
of
the
the.
echo here. Um, you know, as creators, leaders, people who like us are doing YouTube and just leading other people, being a inspiration for other people, sharing, what have you. Doing something that, quite frankly, I have been in my head about for a long time. And I've decided that I'm no longer going to allow myself to do that. And I'm just trying to realize I've got a lot of glare on my eyes here. So let me kind of try to fix that. I may end up deleting this video. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to talk about today something that I discovered for myself on my coaching call. I do a weekly coaching call with my group for creators, published authors who are creating their books, their activity books, coloring books, nonfiction books. And we were talking about today getting over our insecurities and our fears around showing up and going live, basically just turning the camera on. And I was talking to a couple of my members, and we were talking about, I was encouraging them to just turn the camera on, to just stop focusing on the editing and making everything look so polished and so perfect and all of that, and just turn the camera on. And I was sitting here thinking, I need to put out a piece of content this week. I haven't really done anything this week. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take the advice that I just gave. I'm going to actually just no plan, no pre-scheduling, no nothing. I'm just going to go live. I'm just going to go live on YouTube, and I'm just going to show up and be myself and just talk. So that's what I'm doing today. And I want to make this a commitment that I do this every day. Like, regardless of what I've got going on, just turn on the camera, turn on the camera and just start talking. I may, I do a lot of I guess scripted videos where I write everything out and I, edit well, I don't edit a whole lot, but I try to keep it as streamlined as possible. And I thought to myself, I said, you spend so much time, and I was even on the coaching call telling them, we spend so much time trying to make it all perfect and so buttoned up and so polished and all of that, that we just forget that we're just talking to people. We don't have to have everything so choreographed and so planned and so scripted and so edited and all of this, all the things. And yeah, for YouTube, we want, the keyword search title that people are going to type into, and we want to put together the perfect thumbnail. I mean, I know I do, and all that kind of stuff. And I can spend a lot of time doing all of that, go down the rabbit hole. And I'm not saying that I won't do that, but I've come to the conclusion that it's more important for me to show up and be a demonstration as the leader that I am working even harder at being. It's better that I show up and do it imperfectly than trying to do it perfect. So I didn't write a script out for today. I didn't even know I was going to talk about today. I just knew that I wanted to practice what I'm basically preaching. And I wanted to just get on and just turn the camera on and just make a video and get it out there. So anyway, as I said before, my name is Rodney Washington. If you're watching this on my YouTube page, then you know the title of my page is called Published and Thriving. I help creators, content creators, more specifically, turn their content, turn their knowledge, turn their, I guess if you will, their intellectual property into books. Those can be books, written books. They can be planners, journals. They can turn into courses. They can turn into the definition of publishing can go beyond just a quote unquote book. So I wanted to come on and demonstrate for myself and demonstrate for all of you who are watching or listening to this, if you ever see this or not, um, that we have knowledge, we have skills, we have passions, we have callings, if you will. And a lot of times we can let those things go dormant for a long period of time because we're trying to wait for everything to be perfect for everything to be polished, for everything to be buttoned up. And of course, we always want to put our best face forward, but we can't let the need to have everything look so choreographed that we don't allow ourselves to just to turn the camera on and just be real. So that's what this is about today, is just turning on the camera and just being real. I was really blown away today by the coaching call today with my students, my members. Every one of them has a book or several books. All of them have gifts, they have talents, they have knowledge, they have resources, they have all the things that they need. They've done the heavy lifting, they've done the hard work to get their, in this case, their books done. But every day that they're not out there talking about it, letting people know that, first of all, who they are, their identity as creators, as authors, every day that they're not out there talking about it, sharing it, letting people know about it is a disservice to them and the people that they're here to serve. A lot of times as authors, regardless of whatever the product is, if it's a book, it's a course, if it's a journal, a planner, whatever, a card deck, whatever it is, the creation of it, the time we spend doing the thing we do, it's a part of it. But it's not, that's only part of it. We've also got to get it out in the world so that the people that we created for can see it and can benefit from it and can experience it and have the transformations that we created the product to begin with in the first place. Otherwise, no one knows. So if we're not, as creators, putting our work out there by letting people know not only that the work that we've done, but us, because we also are a part of that, us as individuals aren't out there, then it gets stymied, it gets cut off. It's like if when water is flowing, water can literally break through rock. Even if you try to block it, it may take a long time for it to happen, but it will eventually get through. But when we block the flow, water does what? It redirects because it has to go somewhere. It can't just stay in one spot. It has to move somewhere. So when you're in flow with the creation of whatever it is that you do, it is incumbent upon you to then continue the flow, to get it out there, to let people know about it. And that's our job, to do that every single day, to let people know that what we've created, for those who it's for, they'll raise their hand and say, yeah, that's for me. And I want to get that. I want to experience that. I want to be a part of that. So if you have published whatever it is, your book, your course, your podcast, whatever it is that you're doing, but you're not actively letting people know about it, the people who need to hear about it, if you're not letting them know that, just know that you're cutting off the flow and you're causing it to redirect somewhere else. And the redirect to something else may not necessarily be what you want, or may not, and definitely it won't be of service to the people that you created for in the first place. So it becomes incumbent upon us as creators that we keep the flow moving, going in the direction that we want it to go, and going in the direction that we intended for it to go. And if you are wondering or questioning or going, well, what do I talk about today? What do I share today? Just turn the camera on and just speak. You don't have to have everything choreographed. Everything doesn't have to be polished and perfect and buttoned up. Of course, when we have our product, be it our book, our course, whatever the case may be, of course, we want it to all be organized, and we want it to be grammatically correct, and we want it to be spell checked, and we want it packaged up with a nice cover and all of those. And we want all of that stuff. Of course, we want all of that. But what's going to connect you to the people that you're here to serve, and them to you and what you created, is they need to see us. They need to be connected to us. They need to feel that we're real, because we are real. And if we're getting in our head about it, then What's happening is we're stopping the flow. We're blocking the flow. And when we block the flow, the people who need the thing that we're offering will miss out because they're not getting from us what they, even if they don't even know who we are. But I'll just say this for me personally. I've come across so many YouTube videos of late that have been right on time with something I was challenged with in my life at the moment. I'm going through a major transition right now. And videos would pop up in my feed on YouTube that I wasn't even searching for, wasn't looking for. I wasn't worried about keywords. I wasn't worried about search terms. I wasn't worried about any of that stuff. All I had on my mind was I'm in a transition borderline, what I felt at times a crisis. And I needed a word, a guidance, some direction, something to help me deal with what was going on for me in that moment. And the videos would just show up on YouTube. And I've watched video after video after video of late that's been right on time over and over and over and over and over again. It's been amazing. And I had this thought, what if that person that made that video decided not to do it because they got into their feelings about it? They decided not to turn the camera on. Rather, it was just like I'm doing right now, just talk to the camera, or rather, it was something that was more quote unquote choreographed, more polished, more edited, more put together. The final product wasn't the point. It wasn't what I was focusing on. I wasn't focusing on any of that. I was focusing on the message that was being delivered to me in the moment that showed up at the time when I needed it. And it provided me with what I needed in that moment, which was encouragement, motivation, peace, sometimes helped with calm. But more, I would say, probably more than anything, it was a message that I needed to hear in that moment. And I'm saying this to you to say is because while we're running around worrying about something being too polished and too perfect and too edited and all this other kind of stuff, someone is literally, in some respects, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, whatever, they're drowning. And they're looking for some kind of a sign that they're not that they're not alone. So while we as creators are sitting around trying to figure out the best way to say it and edit it and polish it and all those kind of things and the best keywords and the best search terms and all that kind of stuff, that person in the moment is not who's needing our message and what we have to give, what we have to share, our life experiences, our testimonies, whatever it is. They're not sitting around going, well, I want to listen to you because your video isn't edited. I don't want to hear you because you're not, your video is all choppy and doesn't make sense and the lighting's not good. I don't want to watch your video because you got the camera down and I'm looking up I'm looking up your nose. I've seen videos like that too. Whatever. Or I was talking about there's a YouTuber whose videos I just stumbled upon, and he's just standing there talking out in the woods somewhere, and his dog is just like going crazy in the background behind him, just running all over the place, and it's really fun to watch. But the dude just stands there and talks. It's not edited, it's not choreographed, it's not staged. But at the time that I saw his video, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, I needed the message that he was sharing and the way he was sharing it in the moment. That was what was most important to me. And I watched several videos. Not only have I watched several videos of his, but I've turned on probably 3 or 4 or 5 people or more to his videos. More as an example of what I'm talking about today, which is there's no staging, there's no choreography, there's no pre-planning, there's no, we can go to ChatGPT and have it give us all these ideas for videos that we could be making or podcasts, whatever you want to call them. But at the end of the day, you just got to get the content out there. That's our job. The other thing I talked about today with my coaching group as well is that we don't know what video, if you're watching this obviously on YouTube and you may have an interest in becoming monetized. And since I do speak with content creators that I help get published, whatever format that may be in, we um, we can get caught up in, well, I've been making videos for a while and nothing's hit. I've been making videos forever and no one's watching them. I've been, blah, 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 whatever. And I can take that same analogy and apply that to my email list. I can send out email newsletters and they hardly get opened, or they get open and they rarely get clicked. Or I, can post a video in my YouTube, I'm sorry, in my Facebook group, and it can get barely any clicks or any traction, wherever the case may be. And or I can post something on LinkedIn and I can get very few of any kind of engagement, all the emoji stuff and all that thing. I can focus on all of that and let that in the back of my mind start to dissuade me from being consistent and just showing up. Or I can say, because I was saying this to the group today, just because people aren't liking, commenting, sharing, whatever the case may be, doesn't mean they aren't listening, doesn't mean they aren't hearing. There's a lot of videos I've watched that have been one tremendous source of inspiration and motivation and encouragement and all of that to me that I don't comment on. I subscribe to their channel, but I don't comment on everything. I don't like everything. Sometimes I do, depends upon the mood I'm in the moment, but not always. And it doesn't necessarily even mean that I'm going to come back and watch everything they've ever done. But that's not the point. The point is that I show up. I have a phrase that I've used a lot is we as creators must show up until the world, meaning the people that we're here to serve, until they catch up. We have to show up until they catch up. And if we don't show up, there's nothing to catch up to. So it becomes incumbent upon us as creators to get out of our heads about all of this stuff, stop waiting for everything to be perfect, stop waiting for the best circumstances and all that, whatever, and just do the work. Just put the content out there. So when I was going back to my coaching call today with my group, I said, because I've seen this happen. I've seen a couple of YouTubers that have literally what you want to call blown up. They have they did one video that's just done like hundreds of thousands of views. So if you are interested in the YouTube, getting monetized on YouTube and all of that, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and you have to have 4,000 watch hours. But you may make one video. Well, let me say this. You can make one video that can accomplish all of that with one video. But you may have to make 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, 300 videos before you find that one that does the whole thing. It only takes one. There's a book by, I can't think, I know his name is, I think it's Ed Milet, and I think the book is called The Power of One. If I find it, I'll put it in the description here, or the links. We are one away from a complete change in our life. We're one video, we're one email, we're one contact, we're one article, we're one book, we're one DM, we're one event, we're one ask away from what it is that we want. But we don't know if that one is 1 or 101 or 1001 or whatever. We don't know what the one is. Only thing that we can control is doing the one. It's one more. That's what it's called. I think it's one more. One more video, one more email, one more post, one more thing. That's what our job is. I heard another speaker, person I follow here on YouTube, Ashley Kirkwood, and she's inputs on me, outputs on God. So if I do my part, that's all I'm required to do. How it gets responded to, I have no control over. So, using all of that, I'll just say this. If we can focus our energy on worrying about how something looks, how something is polished, how someone is edited, how whatever, if we can get all of that stuff and put that to the side and just focus on showing up and doing one more, one more, one more, one more. It can totally change our world. It can totally turn everything around for us and the people that we're here to serve. So while I'm talking to you, I'm sitting here thinking about don't raise your head too high because the light's going to glare in my glasses. People won't be able to see my eyes because I noticed that right away. I'm like, you know what? I can't worry about all that right now. I'm just showing up. So anyway, if whatever I'm saying, if this has resonance with you, if it has that meaning for you, maybe you watching this right now, you can say, you know what? Yeah, I have been struggling with that. I have been struggling with showing up. I have been struggling with getting myself out there, putting myself out there. I have been struggling with consistency in my content. If you've been struggling with that, take this as a sign for yourself that you don't have to struggle. You just have to turn the camera on. Or if it's not the camera, you just have to write. If it's an article or a chapter for your book or whatever, it's just one more chapter. Set a timer for 5, 10 minutes and say, I'm just going to sit down and write for the next 10 minutes. And when the timer goes off, force yourself to stop. That's going to kick in the energy to say, no, I'm feeling good. I'm in a flow right now. I want to keep going. We've got to get out of our heads about stuff. If you're doing this and you're showing up and you do it consistently, things will turn around. I'm holding on to that for myself as I move into this new phase for my company, what I'm doing. And I feel like whatever I'm sharing right now, even if one person hears this and they connect with it, they resonate with it, they feel like that was for me to hear, then I did my job. It's not about whether or not this video gets 1,000 downloads. It's not about that. But I just know I have to keep doing one more video. I have to keep showing up one more time. So if that's resonating with you, then I did my job for today. And if that leaves you with that same level of encouragement that you do the same thing, then I did my job. Then your job now, the input's on me. The output's on how you connect with it. It's on God if it speaks to you. So what I want to start doing for myself is basically more like this. Just turn the camera on. I've got all of my workshops and my presentations that I'll do, which will be more choreographed and more, I'll have nice slides and all that kind of stuff. And I'll put links to how you can learn about all that. I have a workshop that I do called Five Mistakes Content Creators Made. They keep them unmonetized. I can't remember the exact title, but anyway, I'll put the link in the description if you want to check out when I do that again. I have a bestseller blueprint assessment. If you create a book and you want to get some support around the marketing of your book, positioning of your book in the marketplace, or it doesn't have to be a book. It can be about your course, your program, your membership, whatever it is. I have an assessment. I can look at what you've currently done and then give you some tips about how you can accelerate that process. So I'll put the links to all that inside of the description here for that. But I felt like for now, I just want to talk to you. I just want to talk with you. And I would love, please, if something I said hit or resonate with you, comment on it. I would love to start a conversation with you. But yeah, I'm going to worry less about the glare on my glasses and less about all of the other stuff and just show up. And if it encourages you to do similar, then go for it. If it speaks to you, go for it. If it doesn't, then I hope you find another video on here that does speak to you more directly. But right now, that's what my role is. That's what I'm going to be doing. And if it encourages you, then go for it and do the same too. All righty. So I'm going to wrap it up here. But yeah, I want to keep, I'm glad I'm doing this. I'm glad I got out of my head. I didn't spend all day trying to write up a headline and keywords and design slides and do all of my stuff that I've done. Just turn the camera on and just be present. Just show up and just be present. If that's what you needed to see for yourself today, then I did what I was supposed to do today. All righty. So with that said, I'm going to let you go, and I'll see you on the next video. And yeah, I hope that this helps and serves you. All righty. Take care.